A lot of people are like, "Oh, I don't breathe through my mouth." And then, like, even sometimes being on a table and, like, somebody kind of drifts a little bit and then like, "Oh, they might be doing a little bit of that mouth breathing." And so that's just like one example of how then I might take that and then just give some strategies around starting to tune into and notice as they're moving through their day also. Because sometimes what's happening when we sleep and around how we're breathing can impact our quality of sleep that's happening as well.
What do you mean when you're speaking about breathing through your mouth versus nose?
So there's a number of things that are happening, and I'm not going to be able to speak to all the details, but different things that are happening when air comes in through the mouth compared to when
Mhm.
it comes in through the nasal cavity. Sometimes there is also just this like habit of just kind of the mouth being a little open and then that's where the air comes in. But then sometimes it's about the tongue. Like what's the tongue muscle doing?
Mhm.
Where is the tongue resting in the mouth? What's happening with the nose? What's happening with the septum? Like is there even space and room for air to come in? And a lot of times what kind of prompts people to breathe through their mouth is that there might not be passageway for the air through the nasal cavity. It could be like, chronic like allergy type symptoms where things are just feeling really stuffy or whatever, but it could be a deviated septum. Like there's so many different things, or it could just be habit. And then this kind of gets into a whole other conversation around, sleep and snoring and all of that, like kind of related to what's happening with the tongue, what's happening with like how is the breathing happening. And that's not my skill set, but I'm curious about all of that just because of some individual work that I've been doing. But even to this idea of the mouth gets drier. So sleeping at night, and if we're breathing through the mouth, that happening. And how are we waking up feeling? And are we maybe having some of the wake up be because of that? Or if we get into like there's tongue exercises you can do to kind of articulate the muscles of the tongue more, that sometimes can help with sleep too. So depending upon when we're sleeping, is the tongue sliding a little bit back down into the throat, impacting the breathing? So there's like this whole other world in and around here. I'm like dipping my toe into learning about all of those. And the curious piece, I think, is that and this is some of this is an example of the somatic movement piece that I bring in with classes, is we sometimes bring in movement and standing postural awareness with what's your tongue doing? Where is your tongue?
Mm.
How are you breathing? Are you breathing through your nose right now? Or are you breathing through your mouth? And we just kind of start to layer in these opportunities really for people to start to become a little bit more attuned to be like, oh, what is actually happening and how does it feel?